It's me, Jared. I'm finally moved into my apartment. It took a couple of days, but I'm officially moved in. I'm officially unpacked now, and the place looks great. I'm gonna try to keep it that way because it. I also know my schedule is about to get very busy again. This weekend we have Corpus Christi Comic Con, and that is my birth. Now I have a ride to the con to and from the con tomorrow. I don't know how about Saturday or Sunday just yet. I am working on getting stuff for the con. I'm not for the con because I moved and all that. That costs more money, and I didn't have as much money to play with as far as getting things ready. And I am getting paid again on Monday, but that won't help me this weekend. So I'm going to be cosplaying Charlie tomorrow. My plan for this weekend is to cosplay Charlie tomorrow, my OC on Saturday, and Loot on Sunday. And besides, uh, most of my cosplays that I'm doing this weekend are repeats they've been to con. I've done them at cons before. Charlie is I kind of have to do Charlie because it's a character that I that was the first has been cosplay I ever did, and now this is the first meetup. I'm hosting a meetup tomorrow at 4:15. So if you're in Corpus Christi, you're at a con, you're coming to the con, you're cosplaying anybody from the has been Hell of a Boss or your OC from from that fandom, go ahead. You are welcome to come and join us. We're gonna take pictures. We're gonna do all that fun stuff. Day one is mainly gonna be me getting I'm going to be doing like I do every con now that I go to. I'm gonna do a video of me getting a time lapse of me getting ready the morning of and all like my suits and all that stuff are put away for right now, but I pretty much have everything laid out. The only thing I need to finish for Saturday are these bad boys. I gotta finish this last section of the boot. I'm so close to finishing it. I just have not had the time to work on them. I'm almost done, but it's that. So I hope everybody enjoys their whoever like you. Don't worry, I won't bite. I'm not as mean as I look, but I'm going to be cosplaying this weekend. So hopefully I'll be able to attend all three events. I am tapped on money, so if you can donate through PayPal, no, not donate, support me through PayPal, Venmo. I do have those. It's PayPal is Shannon Paris 25 at Gmail. Venmo is Shannon Paris 30. Cash App I would not recommend going to because I owe Cash App a little bit of money, and any little bit of money that I get from Cash App gets taken away from me. So I mean, it helps in the long run, but it does not help my situation now, which is irritating. But I was able to find a ride for tomorrow, like I said, and then Saturday I'm not sure yet or Sunday, but my plan is to go be all three. I did because I'm hosting a fan panel meetup. I'm able to get a free pass to the weekend. Now the only restriction I have with that is if I come to the con and I scan it and I do not hold the panel, then I'm going to be responsible for that cost. But if I'm going to the con, it goes without saying that I'm probably going to still have the panel. They texted me today to confirm, and I said yes. I just did not have a presentation prepared because I didn't feel like like a presentation is not necessary, in my opinion. So keeping that in mind, we're all just gonna be, so we're gonna just be focused on that, and I'm looking forward to going to do a local con before I have to go do Raleigh in end of the month. Now he'll ask me, how do you have money to go to Raleigh? Well, I've paid for everything. I should not explain that, but I paid for everything except for spending money in the hotel. As of right now, my mother is still going with me. She's not going to get there till Friday night, so she won't be there. She'll only be there Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm coming up on Thursday. So I'm gonna be there all weekend except for Thursday. I'm traveling up Thursday. I'm gonna be there Thursday evening. If there's anybody who's in Raleigh who wants to meet up with me, I get in to Raleigh around dinner time. So if you want to meet for dinner, that's perfectly fine. I'm more than happy to see that out there. I'm looking forward to going to Raleigh, meeting more of the Has Been cast. I'm probably gonna have to meet Brandon again, or if he shows up. I think he will, because he usually does. But Brandon, I met him twice already. I met him in Houston. I met him in San Antonio, but I don't. But with the situation that had happened, in the process of retaliation, uh, I ended up some of my has been stuff ended up not has been stuff. Some of my Hub Boss poster, right, and the poster I got signed by Lizzie Freeman got torn up. Even the picture I got at Animate Raleigh got torn up with that big group selfie picture, and that makes me mad because I spent money on that. I traveled, and yes, I can get those I can't get those memories back. I can't get those. I can, yeah, sure, I can get more signatures, but that's still not cool. I don't think that person would like it if I tore up their stuff. Would they react the same way I did? Probably. Trust me, I was livid, but I've calmed down since then. But I'm now in a new place. I have not I have walked away from people who are not serving me in any way in a positive way, and I've also walked away from Wednesdays, which was very very difficult. And I truthfully think that Wednesdays were a good thing and they were a great opportunity. But if we're supposed to be paid on rotation, is which is what I was always told, and I have not been paid in 6 months, there's something wrong. Like, I didn't get paid at the lip sync battle. I made the tips I made, and that was it. Like people say, oh, it's not all about money. If you worked at it, you get more bookings and all that. Okay, I don't get considered for a lot of things here. That is fact. I have made it clear from my experiences that I'm always open for tip spots bookings. Now I understand, like, why won't I make exceptions for Wednesdays? Why do I have to get paid every week? Well, because I feel like I've done Wednesdays long enough for free, where I should be paid often. Now, if I don't show up and I'm not there, obviously I'm not going to get paid. But what irritates me about the situation is I'm asking a little bit. I'm asking for pay for two reasons. One, I live further away from the bar now. I do not live 5 minutes from the bar anymore. I live like 15, 20 minutes. So I'm very much going to be like, if I have to go to the hidden door, that is a 17, $18 Lyft ride and if I make $10 in tips at a show, that's not gonna even get me home if I have no funds on me. Granted, we don't do drag do money. That's me, but I would like to make more than what I'm making. I'm tired of making $10 in tips and for or $20 in tips for four numbers and putting out different looks and not getting paid. And that's kind of where I'm at with that. I decided that I'm not going to work less than $30 here in town, and if I even said I hope we can come to a reasonable agreement. I wrote this in an email because I want to be very professional and very clear in my intent. But it didn't happen. It just felt like it was just like the people in the chat were like, "Well, isn't that Wednesday supposed to be for newcomers?" Newsflash: I'm not a newcomer, and I've been doing the Wednesday shows long before some of these people have done it. Now, I'm not saying that the people that are doing it now are gonna last or replace, but you know what? Unfortunately, free entertainment in corporate is a dime a dozen. There are a lot of performers who will just perform just for tips, and I'm not saying I won't perform for tips. It's just I know Wednesday nights are not worth it anymore. Like I will like I based off of my experiences on Wednesdays, based on average tips, I rarely make a lot of tips, and now that I live further away, it's just gonna be trouble for me to get there and back. And I also feel like I have to, like, yes, I almost did the show last night, but then I was like, no, I'm going to hold my boundaries. Do not backtrack. It's only been a few days since you told them they're not going to perform without pay. So that is, and performing on Wednesdays, I understand that everybody that we there's a limited budget and that Wednesday only gets, but at the same time, like, if you want us to get, like, I feel like everybody needs to get paid. I haven't been paid in 6 months, and if we're supposed to be in rotation, well, that's not the case. I understand the two people that are guaranteed pay every week are not me, but don't expect me to show up to your show then if you're not going to offer me anything. If I all I make is tips, and there are times where on some numbers I don't make anything for on number, a couple of dollars. If I'm sometimes I make 10, 15, $20, and sometimes I don't. But I can't rely on tips to get me home. I can't rely on tips to pay for things. I didn't do the show last night because, like I said, I didn't want to backtrack, and not just that, I'm not gonna beg them for a spot. I'm just not. And truthfully, it's frustrating because I, I've given a lot to the Hidden Door, and I've done a lot for the door, and I've done a lot. Like I understand, like for certain events, like talent nights, pageants, court shows, we know what we sign up for. We know we're not getting paid unless we win. And then court shows are charity shows, so I understand all of those. Like there are exceptions to performances where I'll perform without pay, but and there are some tip spots that I will do because I know the tips will be worth it. Like if I were to hop in a show on Friday, for example, that's open and they don't have pay involved, but they have good, but it's Friday night, it's prime time, prime, prime time. The tips will do well. If it's worth the money to go, like if I'm not gonna make a lift cost to go get back, then I'm not gonna do it because it's just not worth it. My minimum pay now that I want to ask is $30, which isn't a lot of money. It's not. $30, like I sold my stones yesterday. $30 went like this, and it got me a few things for the house. It got me lunch earlier, and it got me to take the uh, what you call it, the package. So I didn't. $30 doesn't go very far, and it's not even really that much. And that's what irritates me is that I am an entertainer. I do my best to put out the best I can, and everything that's happened recently, it's a miracle that I'm even out on stage at all. Now, I have not gotten to tell y'all what has happened in the last month and a half. Now, it's on Facebook, it's on social media. Like my main social media channels. I really haven't talked about it that much on YouTube because I just been busy, and obviously being in a new place, it's a different energy. It doesn't like I'm gonna stay on top of being clean in this place. I'm gonna not gonna let it get to the way it was at the old place. I'm not gonna be. It felt really embarrassing to see what my apartment looked like after I was gone for 6 weeks. And moving wasn't not in my bingo card this year. Moving was not. But I will say this. I'm gonna give y'all a trigger warning because trigger warnings are necessary. And so if you do not want to hear this part of the story or it makes you uncomfortable, then please try to skip a few minutes of it. I will try to be brief about it, but it's a lot. So the day after the sun I came back from San Antonio the day before Memorial Day, which was the 25th, 26th, something like that. And I got home. Jackie's husband, my drag sister Jackie, husband Matt, was going to work. Like he apparently he was called in for Sunday, and I was surprised to see that he was going to work. I didn't get home until about 8:30, 9 o'clock that night. So I was like, okay, I don't have to deal with him all evening. Yay. Mirabelle was happy to see me because I had been gone for a few days. And Mirabelle's my dog, by the way. But I decided, I was going to, get comfortable, unpack, go to bed. Right? No problem. Nothing was going to happen. It was going to be a relaxing evening until I have to go to work the next day. Which, wrong. I was completely wrong because when I went to so I was still awake at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was kind of half trying to sleep or half asleep, but from what I but I had taken my medication before I go to bed. I was relaxed. Everything was fine. All of a sudden, you know, Matt comes into the room after he gets off work. I figure he's just gonna lay down and go to bed. That's what he normally does when he goes to work. But turns out he tries, first he climbs on top of me and tries to touch me and kiss me and touch me inappropriately. I push him off and I tell him no. And then he goes, then after I try to go to the bathroom for a minute, and then he's like, I'm just messing with you, blah, 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 blah. And it was really, he was clearly high on crack. He was clearly on something. I could smell it on him. He smelled terrible. And I know he had just gotten off work, but he smelled. He smelled like crack and sweat. That's what he smelled like. How do I know what crack smells like? Don't ask how I know that. So anyway, I decided, like, I told him no. I told him no several times, and he would not listen. He kept trying to get on top of me, kept trying touching me, and he tried kissing me, and he kissed my neck, and he was watching porn while doing so, and it was like, this is disgusting. I wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to sleep. That's all I was doing. I wasn't bothering him. I usually when I have to deal with him, Jackie wasn't there because she was with her family, and I tried calling her when it started to happen, but she was asleep, and she was because it's Memorial Day weekend. She was not going to be back till Monday or Tuesday. So later, several hours later, I finally talked to her on the phone, and I tell her, "You're never going to believe what happened earlier, and you're going to be livid." And she's like, "What happened?" And I was asleep, and I was like, "Well, your husband just sexually assaulted me." And I told him no several times, and it just, ugh, still grinds my gears. I'm calm right now because it's been almost 2 months now, but it made me upset. And then Jackie, to me, I felt like in the moment she was like, well, I didn't think you would do anything like that. I didn't, da 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 da. And I was like, well, I'm getting ready to go to work, and I don't want to deal with this and wait till my mom finds out because she's going to be livid too. Jackie did not want me to tell my mom, but I did anyway because my mother, I don't keep secrets from my mother. I don't. And when I told her in person because I knew that was going to be something that. See, the thing is, I've never trusted Matt. In fact, what irritates me is that the signs were there for her that in the past, when Matt is high on crack, he would send dirty pornographic screen grabs to me, and I would tell him to F off because I'm not into that, and I'm not. And he, for some reason, thought me and Jackie liked each other, and that's not the case either. It's not. In fact, we're not even getting to the good part. Is that Jackie, truthfully, when I don't feel like she truly tried to do anything to fix it. Like she's saying, I have all the power, blah blah blah. Maybe I do, but your husband's still living in my apartment under my roof, still doing. Did what he did in my own house that I pay rent in, that y'all don't help pay rent with. And that's what that a lot of people were, and he got banned from the Hidden Door. He's banned from Wednesday nights, and I will never step foot in El Catrine as long as he works there. Like I won't even step foot in El Catrine even if he doesn't work there because from what I've heard, one of the bartenders there is a creep too. And as I've said before, birds of a feather flock together. But my biggest thing with it was I did not know how to process this. This happened the first 3 or 4 days that I was dealing with this, I did not know what to do. The first day after that, I went to work and my dad picked me up and took me home. I did not tell my dad anything. He does not know. He still does not know because I'm not going to tell him. What I end up telling him is, I don't tell him anything. He takes me home and gets me, and I pick up lunch or whatever. But my dad, wasn't going to find out about this. I was not going to tell him because my dad is my dad, and I don't want him to deal with it's not his problem. And my dad and I aren't very close, and he would probably victim blame me anyway. So sorry, but I decided, like, Jackie didn't think I was gonna call the cops. Jackie even said, I never thought he would do something like that. And I told her previously, I've tried to warn you before, and but like she was so quick to defend him, but it was like, girl, he's done creepy things before. This is not news. And you know, for so shortly as I was waiting for I called the cops and I did just make a police report. As of right now, the cops have done nothing. They did nothing to get him out of my apartment. They did nothing to help me with they did nothing. They didn't do anything. They didn't arrest him. Nothing. The cops did shit, basically. And that's corpus for you, I guess. Because, God forbid, I do something wrong, right? But anyway, while I'm waiting for the cops to come, I'm sitting at this park by where I used to live, and I call a friend. I call a friend that I've met. I got to know over the weekend, and they were, Marco and Emma. They decided to come get me and take me to their house, and I was staying at their house until I moved here. Now that was not the plan at all. I was not planning on being there as long as I was. But Matt would not leave my apartment. Jackie said, they would fight, blah blah blah. It took him finally getting served because I did file a protective order, and we did go to court, and he did not show up. He has a lifetime protective order. He cannot be around me at all for the rest of his fucking life or my life, whatever comes first. And that was what the civil thing was. Now we're not even getting to, like, after he got served, he tore up some of my cosplay stuff that was on the walls. Some of it, most of the regular pictures are okay. It was just it was mainly some of the autographs. Thank God I grabbed the Has Been one because he would have destroyed that one too. Hell of a Boss one, the one I had with Bryce Pinkham and Brandon signed, the Hell of a Boss poster. He destroyed it, and I've I'm mad because, you know, I also decided to not let Jackie move in with me. And and yes, I felt very much that she was very guilt trippy with me. And but the more I started standing up for myself and walking away from certain situations, I realized I was starting to see the things that Jackie was doing and being trying to use and manipulate me, thinking she's a safe person when maybe she really isn't. I cared about her as a friend, and it's very, very hard. It was very, very hard for me to tell her no. It was very, very hard for me to walk away from Wednesdays. It was very hard for me to tell people that I'm gonna do what I want, and if y'all don't like it, tough shit. It has been very, very difficult for me to do so, and that's kind of why I did it, because I want peace for once. When I was staying at their house, I didn't have any problems. Did I feel bad that they were doing stuff for me and taking care of me and all that? Yes, because I'm not used to taking care of myself. Like, not, well, other people taking care of me, sorry. I'm used to taking care of myself, feeding, cooking, doing what I gotta do, take care of the dog, take care of me, pay the rent, pay the bills, all the things that normal adults do. And people, just because I'm on the spectrum or whatever, doesn't mean I can't take care of myself. I've been doing it before they moved in with me, and I'm gonna be continuing to do it after. Yes, they helped me with groceries. Yes, Jackie helped cook and clean, but don't tell people that you're my caretaker, because you're not. You never were. I don't even have a caretaker. I'm a caretaker to my mom and my stepdad, but not my brother and my stepdad. But, jeez, it's a lot. And I apologize if I'm coming off harsh and mean and probably a little indifferent about stuff. Like, just like me not letting her move in, her being homeless is not my problem. I have my own problems to deal with. I have my own issues to deal with that don't involve uh, other people destroying the thing I built. Because this time, I'm not going to let anyone destroy it anyway. It's going to destroy my peace. My apartment is finally set up, and I finally feel like I can actually set up. Like, I actually have a wall for my family. I have a wall of my court and pageant stuff, and then I have a wall, my con wall in the front, like I did at the other place. I am going to get more. I'm going to get more pictures that I printed, more pictures printed, like the ones from San Antonio. The one I went to San Antonio for. I did Charlie, and anything I get this weekend. So any new pictures I get this weekend will be added to the wall. I am slowly, I am slowly gonna. I'm walking away from things that maybe I'm burning a bridge with certain things, but you know what? Sometimes I'm learning that sometimes burning a bridge may be what you have to do, whether you want to or not. But I thought I would let you go and cut out. I did not mean to talk for half an hour. It has been an uphill battle. I'm glad I got everything moved. I'm glad that I'm here. I'm going to keep this place clean to the best of my ability. And I'm going to make this place, and Mirabelle is happier. She has a lot more runner. This apartment is huge. It's a lot bigger than the one I had. And like, this is where I'm sitting is the living room area. And then we have a kitchen right here in front of me. And then we have the living room over there, and then my bedroom's behind me. I gotta take a shower, get comfortable, get ready for bed, because tomorrow's con day. Yay.